What is up, gamers? CS2 just had its full release, so if you've been excited to play but you haven't been able to get into the beta, now is your time. So today, I have got some spicy binds for your Autoexec to help you destroy the competition and get those frags. Now, some of these binds are tried and tested over the years, but I am also bringing you some fresh new binds I crafted in my secret underground lab that'll really bring you to the next level. Now, first off, to get to your Autoexec, it is changed. You're going to still want to go into your CSGO folder, but we're not going to open CSGO, we're going to open Game, then CSGO, then CFG. This is where you're going to put your autoexec.cfg. Now today, I am not going to be showing you how to do buy binds, because honestly, I just don't think they're really that necessary in CS2. This new buy menu is really clean and really quick to use. Now, I'm going to link in the description down below a post on the Steam forums telling you exactly how to set up your buy binds if that suits your fancy. But I want to show you the real stuff today, and that is my Autoexec. So let's take a look at it. First off, up at the top we've got some stuff that's personal preference for me, but the first thing I really want to show you is the quickswitch knife bind. Everyone has been using these for decades, and everyone does theirs a little bit differently. All it does, when you hold your button, it's going to take out your knife. When you let go of the button, it takes out your gun. This is especially useful when you're opping, so that you can just tap it to descope. So in order to do that, the way that I like to do it, alias plus knife, that goes slot 3, takes out my knife. Alias minus knife, we're going to go slot 2, then slot 1. So that way, if I don't have a gun equipped and I tap it, I pull out my pistol. If I do have a primary, I'm going to take out my primary. This way you can also, in addition to quick switching, use it as a general bind for taking out your gun. Next up, we have got the instant bomb drop bind. I cannot show this off because holy shit, it's, you know, warm up and I'm on office. There's no bomb. But what this is going to do is with one single press of a button, you're going to be able to drop the bomb to whoever you want, because you don't want that shit. You want to go and get those frags. So we're going to do alias plus bomb drop. Slot 3, slot 5. It's important you take out your knife first, so that if you don't have the bomb in your loadout, you don't end up dropping your gun. Instead, you're going to try to drop your knife, and you can't do that, so it's just fine. And then minus bomb drop, we're gonna drop that bomb, and then cycle to our pistol, and then to our primary. Next up, this is one that I have been making good use of lately, that I've just switched to, and I'm liking it quite a bit, and that is the quick drop bind. What this does is, instead of having G just bound to drop, when you let go of G, it's going to cycle over your pistol and then your primary again. So if I come over here, I can just easily, very quickly, swap between guns on the ground. Makes me feel a lot more confident trying to pick up guns off the ground when I'm under fire. It has been massively useful, and I think everyone should add this to your Autoexec, because there's no reason not to have it. Now, that's the binds that people have been using for years. Now it's time to get a little spicy. Get into the creations. Now, first off, if you didn't know, there is a new command in CS2. Technically, it existed in CSGO, but it was cheat protected. Now everyone can use it. and that is follow recoil. Now, we all know how CS recoil works. You shoot for a while, and then your bullets go fucking everywhere. But if we enable follow recoil, things are a little bit different. Hold down the button, you see the crosshair moves up and follows exactly where your recoil is. This command is a little bit cracked because it means you can control your recoil deep into a spray. No one's learning where the 25th bullet in your mag goes, but with this, you just put your crosshair on their head and they die. Now, if you want to enable follow recoil, the command is CL crosshair recoil 1, or if you go into the settings on the new tab, it's just right here. Go to setting, boom, turn it on. But the problem with the normal follow recoil command is that you see if I'm doing like these shorter bursts, it takes quite a while for my crosshair to reset to the center, and that can be pretty annoying. So, what some absolutely fancy gamers figured out is that you can make it even better. What you do is you set up an alias so that when you're holding down your mouse button, it enables follow recoil. When you let go of your mouse button, it turns it back off. So this is what that looks like. It's a lot snappier, feels a lot better. But for the command, all you're going to do is alias your plus recoil shoot, and that's going to be plus attack, CL crosshair recoil 1, and then on minus recoil shoot, you're going to do minus attack, CL crosshair recoil 0. Very simple. But what I found is that even though this is a lot better than the normal follow recoil command, I still don't want it on all the time, you know? I find a lot of the time, especially if I pick up an AK, I want to go and have normal recoil so that I can do these one taps. If I'm using follow recoil, I feel like I need to spray, so I mostly use it with SMGs. So I went and I set up a nice little toggle, and you've probably noticed when I toggle it, it switches my crosshair from green for normal mode to pink for follow recoil. Now, the way we do this, it's not super straightforward, but it's pretty simple. I'm sure you guys will get it. So, first off, I've got these aliases, setpink and setgreen. That just changes the color of my crosshair. The actual meat and potatoes of setting up a toggle like this is you need 3 aliases. An alias to set one of the modes, an alias to set another one of the modes, and then an alias that you're going to use to toggle between them. So to set in the follow recoil mode, I've got this setshoot alias. All that does, it's going to bind mouse 1 to recoil shoot. It's going to call that setpink to change my crosshair color. And then, importantly, it goes and it changes the alias of this toggle recoil to setattack. Setattack, pretty similar. We're going to bind mouse 1 to attack. We're going to set it to green. Then we're going to set this toggle recoil alias back to the shoot command. So that way, every time we hit toggle recoil, it'll switch what toggle recoil does, and we can switch back and forth like that. Next up, this one is really fun. First off, I'm sure you've noticed if you've played even a little bit of CS2, people are annoying, and you want to make them shut up, but voice enable 0 does not work anymore. The command is now voice mod enable 0. So It's not mode, there's not two E's, MOD enable 0. Now, obviously, I could set up a toggle like that by just using the bind toggle command. Bind toggle, voice mod enable, 0, 1. Easy peasy. That wasn't enough for me. Because you see, I am very important, and these CS randoms are not. So when I can't hear them, I think they should still be able to hear me. So I did exactly that. I set up the ability to go and turn on voice enable while I'm holding down my push to talk when voice enable is off. First off, we're going to set this plus talking command. All we're going to do, voice enable 1, and then plus voice record is the bind for your push to talk, and then minus talking, we're going to do minus voice record, and then voice mod enable 0. Now be careful with this one, because it will only work if you have it set up with a toggle for your voice enable, because when you let go of it, it's going to turn it off. So if you don't have a toggle set up for that, well, you're not going to be hearing anyone. Maybe that's fine. But again, toggle works exactly the same. We've got set talk, which turns voice enable on, and it's going to bind my push to talk to plus voice record, and then it does the alias to the toggle talk. And for set mute, voice enable 0, and then we're going to bind our push to talk button to this talking alias that we set up. Now, those two, really good, really cool, really nice to have. But I had them bound to my arrow keys, and I found that was just really annoying. I was in a clutch situation, and someone wouldn't shut the fuck up, so I needed my mute button closer. But I couldn't just... I don't have any extra keys here. I don't have any buttons to bind it to. I had to get creative, and that's when I realized that every single Counter-Strike player keeps the cosmetic button on one of their closest keys. That's your inspect button. Inspect is useless, but everyone keeps it so you can FR. So I decided to make that a multi-function button. This is going to blow your minds, alright? So, on my side mouse buttons, I have binds to take out my flashbang and to take out my smoke. But I have it set up so that if I hold my inspect button and take out my flashbang, it's going to toggle between those two recoil modes. And if I hold my inspect button and take out a smoke, it's going to toggle voice. So that way, I can have these commands right at my fingertips and still be able to FR, not giving up any keys. Now to do this, we've got this layer alias. So plus layer, when I'm holding down the button, all I do is I go and I bind mouse 5 and mouse 4 to those toggles. And then I look at the weapon. When I let go of it, stop looking at the weapon, and then I bind those buttons back to take out my flash and take out my smoke. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a flash and a smoke. You can have this for whatever your side mouse buttons are bound to. And you could do this with different combinations of buttons too. But this is how I use it. The important thing though is if you want to use this with your inspect command, it is really important that plus look at weapon is the last command on your plus layer, and minus look at weapon is the first command on your minus layer. If you don't have it set up like that, it messes up big time. It will completely glitch out every animation in the game. It crashed my game once because I had this set up wrong. So make sure you set it up right. But if you set it up right, it works perfectly fine. You can still inspect, you can still FR as much as you want, but now we've added a little bit more juice to our inspect. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you gamers later. Autoexec will be down in the description. Peace out.